Hello, my name is Max. I wanted to do a reading on the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce wedding, or the engagement. So to me, it's kind of interesting. It's maybe a little peculiar because I don't know, when you get to a certain age and you've seen so many news cycles, you start to look at things a little differently. And so anyway, I'm just curious about it. Like, what is it about? Um, what are the motivations? I kind of have my own theories, but let's just see what the cards have to say in regards to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and their engagement and the relationship in general. Okay, let's take a look here. What's going on with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and their engagement? I hope you're all doing well. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Okay. Six of Pentacles in reverse. One second. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. So to me, this is Taylor Swift here. This is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So for Taylor Swift, to me, this indicates it's kind of outside of her control. That's kind of like the vibe I'm getting here. For Travis Kelce, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So again, these are both pentacles, both kind of money cards, resource cards. So this that would tend to indicate the focus of this situation. So it's a money situation. Travis Kelce as a Page of Pentacles reversed. To me, it can indicate kind of like a neediness or an insecurity of some sort. Let's keep looking. Also, in between we have the kind of like the motivation between the two that I have here. The card between both cards is the Page of Cups in reverse. So the Page of Cups in reverse kind of indicates like a lack of romance. That's kind of what it can indicate to me, or an unwelcome approach, an unwelcome messenger, or something unromantic. There's some sort of unromantic situation in regards to this situation, something unromantic or something not motivated by pleasure or romance or emotions or love or anything like that. Let's keep looking. Let's see. I want to see let's keep going deeper here. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Taylor Swift, okay. Travis Kelce. Okay, I have the Hermit upright. Two of Swords upright. The World upright. Okay, so for Taylor Swift, this indicates this is her energy again. This is the Hermit. I mean, the Hermit is a card of kind of isolation. Uh, it's a card of kind of calculation, a card of wisdom. It's also a card of like I said, needing to, um, it's the Hermit is a hermit, so it's removed from social um, interactions and fun. It's kind of like it's an unfun kind of card. Um, so that's interesting. So also with Travis Kelce, we have the Two of Swords upright. The Two of Swords kind of indicates uh, uncertainty, insecurity. It can also be this or that thinking, unable to consider or unable to consider other options, or you can't see other options. It's kind of like it's like a temporary blindness, or that causes uncertainty. Um, so I think that's interesting. Now, what's really cool here is in the middle, the center card here is um, the world upright, which is really quite fascinating. So the world is a very, it can be a very, very positive card, an immensely positive card. It's a beautiful card. It's a card of power, card of influence, a card of, generally like, it can be a card of completions, endings, but also, like finishing one chapter and continuing and then beginning the next. Um, so when I see this world card here in between them, it almost indicates to me publicity. That's kind of what it says to me. It says uh, um, influence, wide publicity. So wide ranging uh, publicity, very wide ranging, worldwide mass communication. Let's see what else is going on. Is there something? Is there something behind this? Is it? I mean, is it really just one person, a girl meets boy, and is that really? Is it just that, like how it is for most of us? Is that what's going on here, or is there some other factors to consider? Let's see. Um, yeah, so that Hermit card for for Taylor Swift, that does kind of, it could indicate like a fear of being alone, but it also indicates like a uh, uh, some sort of planning or some sort of um, skillful planning, deep thought, foresight. Um, because like the Hermit's kind of like an assassin. It's kind of like um, it's a very wise but sneaky card, a very smart, tough card that's by itself. So when I think of that with Taylor, that's really interesting. So um, anyway, let's see what else is going on here. So for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, is there something else going on here? Okay, the seven of wands upright. Okay, eight of. I'm sorry, it's the strength card reversed. Number 8, strength, reversed. Six of Cups. Okay, so with the Seven of Wands, to me, this indicates some sort of determination, some sort of strong motivating force, like an external motivating force that won't take no for an answer. That's kind of how I look at this. There's like some sort of determination, some sort of almost like a coercion. There's some sort of strong will here. Let's see what else is at play. And then, of course, we have the strength card reverse. So the strength card reverse, to me, this is like lack of power. This is almost like a capitulation. Um, uh, this is like they don't have they don't have a say. Like someone doesn't have any say in this. You can't argue. You don't have any of the resources to really argue. Like you're not in a position relative to this other force to really argue. So you kind of, it's a loss of power, really, is what this is. Six of Cups. This is kind of, I know I'm like wondering what's this about, because it's kind of. But Six of Cups is. I don't know. It's something about it's security. it can indicate romance. It can indicate that. In this case, intuitively, I get kind of like a security, or um, that's kind of what I get. I get a feeling of security. So this is trying to. It's either the agreement is producing security, or the wedding is producing security, or the. Let's see what else is going on. I really want to go deeper here, and other. I'm just gonna do it again. I'm just gonna try to think of the right format to reveal this information. Let's see, Taylor Swift. I'm just going to do it the same way. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. Okay, here we go. The devil reversed. Eight of Wands reversed. Two of Wands upright. The Hermit upright. Interesting. Okay, so this is Taylor Swift. The devil reversed. This can indicate like being overpowered. It can indicate almost like a sense of capitulation, in the sense that, in a way to escape domination, in a way. So it's kind of like almost like a defensive posture, where you're trying to avoid domination, or you're trying to avoid someone controlling you, or it's almost like it's out of your control. And this would very much correlate with the Strength card reversed as well. So this is almost like a yielding to some sort of negativity, or you're in some sort of defensive stance against negativity, or some sort of overpowering force. So with Travis here, I have Eight of Wands in reverse. So this indicates confusion, haste, lack of foresight or planning, lack of coordination. So this is like, what happens when you're caught on your back foot or something. When you're caught off guard, or you don't feel like you have a firm foundation. This is, kind of like a card of, it could be desperation or haste, or some sort of action motivated by fear. That's kind of what I get here. And also we have in the center, the force bringing them together is like the Two of Wands upright. Two of Wands upright is planning. So that's interesting. There's planning from above, in a way, is the card, and the way I had it laid out was kind of like above the others. So it's almost like planning from a higher level, like a hierarchy. There's like other levels, other echelons of power, and it's planning related to them, like these other people above, as if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are kind of like employees, in a way, and they're working for a boss. That's kind of what I get here. And also, in the middle again, this Hermit upright. So yeah, this can indicate wisdom, sneakiness, planning, isolation. It can also indicate, almost kind of indicate some sort of secret planning. Let's see what else is going on. I'm going to just pull a few more cards here. Let's see what's going on here with Travis and Taylor Swift. Let's see, Taylor Swift. see. Hmm. Sun upright. Three of Wands upright. Four of Cups reversed. Let's see. One more time. The Hierophant. Hangman. The Fool. Okay. So, this is interesting. Okay, so Taylor Swift, The Sun. That's very interesting. So the Sun is a very, very positive card. It indicates you like something, that you feel good, you feel youthful, you feel energetic, you feel motivated. It's a very good card, right? So it also can indicate fame. So it can be, it's a card of like motivations, a card of. So I should actually look into this deeper. But this is a very positive card, but this doesn't necessarily indicate her feelings towards Travis. This could indicate some other element, right? This could indicate, but in any case, this indicates her in this spread that I have right now. And Travis is the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is kind of like a card of, planning. It's a card of planning. It's not a romantic card in any way, but it's a card of planning. It's a card of, taking action or foreseeing action, visualizing results. It's a card of, kind of like a card of manifestation. It's a card of, a willful direction, taking action in a directed way. So that's interesting. And the center card here is a Four of Cups reverse. Four of Cups reverse can indicate like kind of like a sudden realization or like a sudden happiness. So when I see these three cards, it's pretty positive indicators actually. Just on their own, they really are quite positive. This Four of Cups can indicate like, yeah, I'm ready for marriage. This sounds good. Yeah, I'm ready. Like I didn't think I was ready, but yeah, let's do it. It's kind of like that kind of energy. And when I see the Three of Wands and I see the upright Sun, for whatever reason, they could really, they're kind of accepting it. They're like, okay, this could work. I think, I think maybe Travis is maybe a little bit motivated by an insecurity, as we've seen with that Cups card we had. Maybe he's a little bit more motivated by insecurity, and maybe and Taylor Swift is maybe a little more motivated by career. But I think Travis needs her more than she needs him. Obviously, she has more money, but I think maybe she has other. It's not just her music career, it's not just her money. There's other factors, and so let's keep looking here. So this is Taylor Swift's card. This is next to the Sun. So this is the Hangman. So this is kind of like knowledge. It indicates knowledge, indicates waiting. It can indicate sacrifice. So when I see that this next to the Sun, it kind of tempers the Sun a little bit, and so it's modifying the Sun, saying it's in a way it's a sacrifice. In a way what you're doing is you're kind of doing something you don't really want to do, but you kind of have to do it. So Travis Kelce, he has the upright Fool, which is, again, this is a very good card actually. It's like embarking on something new, having that sense of freedom and happiness and that carefree youthful energy that you'd want going into something good. whenever you're starting something good and you have the upright fool, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Um, but it could also indicate maybe he's not considering factors that Taylor is considering. That he's going into it a little more aloof because he has much more to gain and uh, less to lose by all this. And so for him, it's much more of a positive thing because I think he's motivated by a little bit of insecurity, and he's just going in with less to lose, and so now he's got a hot wife. He's going to have a hot wife who's very, very rich, very, very popular. So I think this kind of is a positive card, but it's also saying he's much more the lesser partner in this. I think he's the lesser partner. No offense against him. I'm just saying in regards to those two, according to the cards here, that maybe for him this is a big win for him, and this is a very positive thing. So in the middle here, this would be kind of like augmenting the Four of Cups reverse. So we have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant is, weddings, right? It's a wedding. It's like a church priest. It's a wedding ritual. It's a religious ritual, but it's also a religious hierarchy, and beyond a religious hierarchy, it's just a worldly hierarchy. So this is like obeying the law, obeying the conventional rules, like renewing your license, that type of thing, like going to the DMV and getting new tags for your car, things like that. So this is like very much, it can be a wedding card for sure, but it also indicates hierarchies and being obedient to those hierarchies. And so again, even on that level, it can't indicate marriage, right? Because marriage is something you do, right? It's just something you do. It's like what we do. We're Americans, right? Or in any country, usually they kind of expect you to get married at a certain age, and if you don't get married, you're like, okay, what's wrong? What's wrong with this person? Is this person gay? Is he, does he like dudes? Or like, you always like, you're gonna run into that. People start going, what's wrong with him, or what's wrong with her? Why isn't she married? That's really weird. Like, they think that, it's weird. It's real. I mean, even I noticed that because I'm not married, and I noticed like, what's he doing? What's he doing like by himself without kids, and why doesn't he have any kids? Why is this woman with him? What's he doing? So it's like you're like this lone wolf, and you automatically become like kind of this pariah, or that you're under suspicion. So it's good to get married, right? So it's good to get married because, like, oh, okay, whew, yeah, no one's going to think I'm gay anymore, or no one's going to think. I don't think they're worried about that. But I'm just saying that this card can indicate doing something conventional, doing something that's expected. No one knows why it's expected. There could be no reason or different reasons why everyone thinks it should happen, but the bottom line is it should happen. Like, you should do this. That's what society will say. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying. So this is hierarchy, and this is obeying that hierarchy, obeying the powers that be. This is like when in Rome, in a way. But it's also the people in charge, and this could be the people in charge of the record labels, or the public, their agents, or the agency that their agents work for, or even the shady people that the agency works for, because these agencies are owned by people that are own other things, and lots of other things. So what this indicates to me is kind of a deep card, and actually what I want to do is I want to look into this again. Okay, let's look into this middle force, like this force that's between and above Taylor and Travis. Okay, what is this force? What is it? What is this Hierophant here? What's going on with this Hierophant? Like, what is it? Like, is it just that conventional way of thinking? Like, let's just do what Americans do. Let's do that. Or is there something more afoot? Let's see. Let's see. Again, Page of Cups reversed. So I'm gonna keep going though. Let's keep going. I'm sorry, Hangman reversed. Three of Wands reversed. Interesting. Okay, let's just go with this then, okay? For now. So this is a Page of Cups reversed. So this is, again, this is that unromantic energy, this unwelcome message kind of, in a way. It's kind of like an unwelcome message or an unromantic force. It can be someone that's like approaches you that you're not interested in. It can be that. It can be like a unwelcome or not well regarded, some sort of approach or message or communication that's not well regarded or is not oriented towards romance. That's what this is. This is kind of like business, doing business. This is like a non-romantic card, non-emotional card. This is a card that's kind of interpreted as unwelcome or pushy or that's kind of how I get this. Okay. We also have the Hangman in reverse. So, which is interesting. So, Hangman in reverse. So that's like it can indicate no more waiting. It can indicate like a certain haste, or it could also indicate a lack of knowledge in a certain way. Think about this for a minute. So to me, that Hangman is kind of hanging me up here. Let's take a look at this Three of Wands here. Three of Wands in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse is like forces acting against something. So it's almost like a card of like an enemy. So in other words, it's like it's a will going against your will or going against the plan. It's somebody's plan that's going against your plan. Somebody's agenda countering your agenda. So, or this also could just indicate a lack of planning. But to me, this indicates like working against something. So, and that would very much correlate with the Page of Cups in reverse. Hangman in reverse. So that can indicate a lack of clarity, because a lot of times this can indicate kind of enlightenment or secret knowledge or sacrifice for knowledge. So when it's reversed, it can kind of indicate a lack of knowledge, a certain haste. It can also indicate like a sacrifice for nothing, like a worthless sacrifice. That's quite interesting. I just want to see if they can. I want to augment that Page of Cups in reverse, and this will be, I think, be the last card unless we get into something real deep here. Okay. So, center force. What is the motivating factors? Who is it? Who and what and why? What's Here we go. Okay, so I have the Eight of Swords upright. Eight of Swords upright. The Moon reversed. Okay, so Eight of Swords upright. This kind of indicates some sort of coercion, or it can indicate you feel trapped, or there's some sort of unpleasantness or arduousness about it, like some sort of mental discomfort, or so this is like an anxiety. This indicates anxiety. It can indicate fear. It can indicate being forced to do something. And then we have the Moon reversed. So the Moon reversed is kind of like fear, confusion. It can indicate black magic. It can indicate that. So this is not a good card. This is not a card of, especially when it's reversed. It's not a card of clarity. It's very much just like that Hangman in reverse. It's a card. It's a lack of clarity. Indicates kind of muddy muddy thinking or just a lack of clarity, lack of intuition, succumbing to fear or negative prognostications or negative outcomes, kind of a focus on negative outcomes. This is kind of a negative card here. Especially when I see it with the Eight of Swords and I see it with the other things we've seen, especially that the Page of Cups reversed. You don't want to see that with when you're talking about marriage. You don't want to see that when you're talking about two people that are engaged. You don't want to see the Page of Cups reversed in that. That's just not what you want to see. And so this card can indicate haunting or black magic, and I don't necessarily think that here, but it indicates a lack of clarity, a giving into fear, very much like this Eight of Swords here. And then Seven of Cups reversed. So Seven of Cups reversed. That's interesting, right? So it's like saying, I'm ready to choose, or I don't have any options, or it's kind of like that. It's very much like the Eight of Swords. It's like where you feel kind of like intellectually or emotionally compelled. Even that's the Moon reversed. It's like a lack of clarity, and you just don't understand how many options you really have, what options you have. It's kind of like it can be a card of like coercion. So yeah, it's just it's kind of an interesting subject, and we keep getting these interesting cards. So I keep wanting to end the video, but let's do a couple more cards here. What is the motivation here? I think we kind of tapped on that. It was the center cards in those spreads. This motivation, and I think the Hierophant and the Hermit can kind of indicate that. Eight of Swords can indicate that. Let's look at the motivations here for Travis and Taylor. Okay. Wheel of Fortune reverse. Okay. Five of Wands reversed. The World reversed. Okay. So this is very interesting. Okay. So Wheel of Fortune reversed. So this is the center card here. This indicates bad luck. It's also indicate kind of like what we said before with the Three of Wands reversed. It's just kind of like something a higher force, a stronger force, working against you. So this is kind of like the ocean, like a tsunami or something. This is like something that you can't control. It's very, very big. The fortune card upright is like fortune. So it's like, whoa, the world is my oyster. Like the world is going my way. The world is shifting according to my plan or my will or my desire or whatever. So it's a very positive card when it's upright, but when it's reversed, it's kind of indicating bad luck. That's or like a negative change to your luck, a negative change to your fortune. So it's like that's kind of what it indicates, and it can also indicate. So in that same vein, it's kind of like saying there's a higher force, in the hierarchy. There's somebody higher. There's a force higher than you, and in some cases that could be we're talking about gods or goddesses, the divine realm. But I think in this case it's referring to the very mundane hierarchy of the world, and I'm not necessarily referring to elected officials or anything like that. I'm just saying unelected officials. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's really rich people, really powerful people that we don't know who they are, and they have a lot of control. We don't know how far it extends, but we know it's kind of shady, right? So this can indicate them. This card kind of indicates them that. And it's their will. It's what they want, and you'll like it whether you like it or not. You're gonna deal with it. You just deal with it, right? So this is kind of like a very large, strong, superior force or will or person or group. Okay, that is kind of working against you. In this case, that would be Travis and Taylor, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. So then you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is like giving up. It's like it can be, hey, we just want, we just want to get along. We don't want any problems. That's kind of what Five of Wands reverse. Because Five of Wands upright would be competition and strenuous work and mimicry and imitation. So when it's reverse, is saying, let's just get along. We don't want to fight. That type of thing. It's kind of like it can be a card of like harmony. Like we want harmony. We don't want a war. So like if this would be a card of like if yeah, that's just basically what I said. I don't want to we need to beat a dead horse here. That's kind of what it means though. It's just lack of, you don't want to compete. You don't want to fight. You want to get along. So that's what this is. And then we've seen the world before upright, but now it's reverse. World reversed. This is with the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So world upright is very positive, but it does indicate, world upright like can indicate mass communication, right? Can indicate like getting a book published, by a big publisher. That's the world upright. Would be that. And so like getting it, if back in the day when you wanted to be a musician, you got a record contract, right? That would be the world upright. Or like you're an actor and you just got like a major role in a major film. That would be the world upright. But when the world is reversed, it's kind of like things aren't going your way. Things won't not go your way. There's a fear of things not going your way. There's some sort of, it could be there's some sort of threat or some sort of negative message impending, some sort of impending force against you. So this kind of correlates very much with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's kind of like it can indicate bad luck or a shrinking of your ambition. When you write a book, right, and you want to be the hit writer, you want to be like a Stephen King or something, you have this in your mind. This should be like in a 10 card spread. This should be in the very top card, right? The very top card. You're thinking, or the result card, right? But you're thinking this, when you're thinking reverse, or this is somewhere in your chart. You're shrinking your goals. You're kind of retreating. You're either seeing or you're imagining negative outcomes or negative results or negative forces countering you. So, and that very much kind of aligns with that Five of Wands in reverse. This is like, maybe if I shrink my goal, I'll be okay. And if I'm not too ambitious, it's also limiting your dreams, which you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to limit your dreams. So this is kind of a negative card, and in a way, this spread here is kind of about the motivator, the beings that the hierarchy above Taylor and Travis. This is what this 3-card spread that I'm doing is for. So when I see this, I think that's interesting, right? So this isn't Travis thinking this or Taylor thinking this. This is the people that are controlling them or employing them or advising them or telling them what to do. It's their bosses. I use the term loosely because I just mean the hierarchy above them. There's people above them that they have to make happy. Okay? And so this is those people. This card pertains to them and their motivations, the hierarchy, the people in the shadows. So that's interesting, right? So that means what? What does this mean? So this would mean they want to limit our view. That's kind of what this means. This kind of means they want to limit, because we're us, the people of the world that pay attention to Western culture, Western pop culture, U.S. culture, U.S. popular culture. They want to limit our view, is what this is saying. So this is kind of like This is getting very deep, actually, but maybe too deep. Maybe I should stop right here. But this is interesting, right? This is indicating their motivations, not Travis's motivation, not Taylor's, but the force that they're working for, the company, the corporation, or the somebody somebody that they need to satisfy. This is their motivation. This is the world reversed. The world reversed is shrinking of your worldview. It indicates lack of wisdom. That's what it kind of means. It kind of means lack of wisdom or lack of worldview, or like so. It's like thinking. So this is what this means. Okay. So the world upright would mean you think you live. The world you live in is awesome, and because you think you live in an awesome world, you feel awesome. Okay, that's what kind of what this card means in this respect. Okay, so you think you live in a beautiful, awesome world, and where everything you like, so many things that you see inspire you, and motivate you, and elevate your your goals and the view of yourself and what you think you can do and who you are. So if you're an American, right, and you see like a really smart, awesome American who's like doing really good things for other people, and you think that dude, that's freaking awesome, right? And then when let's say you're an American, and this could be for any country, okay? I happen to live in America, so I just use that as an example. It could be any country, but if you're in a country and they say, okay, you live in America. Let's just I guess keep that straight, okay? Let's say you live in America, and they say, look what this American did, and it's not good, and it's like kind of stupid actually, right? This guy, you're seeing a fellow American act stupid, and maybe be a criminal, maybe hurt somebody, and act like disgrace, act like he's a disgrace. He is a disgrace. He is apparent to you that he is a disgrace, and you're an American just like him. So all of a sudden, right, you like lower your view, right? You lower your expectations about what American is. What if you see hundreds of Americans acting stupid? Here you are, you're an American, right? And you're looking at this American, you're thinking, I'm in the same country as this piece of crap. Like, this person's bad, and he's like stupid, and he's corrupt, and he's hurting kids or something, right? And it's like it lowers your energy, right? And like you get upset, you get embarrassed. You get upset and you get angry, and you don't. What is that? It's like you don't feel good, right? This is the world reversed. So the world reversed is like, so it's lowering what you are. It's lowering your energy is what it is. So that's kind of what this is. This is like, that's what their motivation is. Not Travis's motivation, not Taylor's, but the people in charge. It's almost like they're saying, this is what you are, or here's the example. Here's what you can aspire to. And they want to limit that. They don't want you to see people who are frickin' smart as hell, and they're charming, and they're brave, and they're good, and they will do, they don't want you, because that would be upright, right? If you were like in a world where like everyone was awesome, right? And then you're just you see that, and you look at that, and you think, I have to be, to compete, I have to be awesome, right? I have to be cool and good and informed and motivated by good things. And it's also a way of informing who you are, right? It's like, that's an American. That's who I am. Just by identifying with someone else who is high level, who is intelligent, you start to partake of that, right? You do. And that's actually why that should be another video. But I was going to talk about video games. You know how on video games, they want everyone to be like, you notice all video games how they look, how the lead characters don't look good. A lot of times they look really stupid, like they're messed up, like they're like really dumb, or they're really ugly, or there's something like not upright and cool about them. Like usually if you want to play a video game, you want to play somebody cool. You want to play somebody who's like good looking and awesome and smart and brave, and while you play it, it's like in your mind that's you, right? And you kind of identify with it, and it kind of lifts you up in a way, right? Well, now they have you playing characters that don't look good, right? They look like there's something wrong with them, right? And so that's what this is. This is the world reversed. That's what that is. So they're trying to limit your conception of who you are, or who you can be, and they do that by showing you things that you are. So they'll show you an American. See, this is how Americans look. It's actually called social engineering. Actually, so this is how Americans look. This is how they think. Americans think like this. This is what they like. This is what a real successful American likes. Do you like what they like? Because if you don't, you're not cool. You're not as cool as they are. So so they want to kind of, so that's what this is. This is about limiting. They want to limit, by you I mean not just you specifically, but the population. Whoever views American pop culture or Western pop culture, they want to limit your own view of yourself, limit your own view of your world, limit your own view of your country, and they want you to think that's what success looks like. That's what they're, and so, and that's what this is. That's pretty deep, right? So that's kind of that's pretty interesting, right? Anyway, so I'm gonna leave it here. Maybe I'll make another video. Maybe I'm gonna keep doing stuff because we're actually approaching the Halloween season. As far as I'm concerned, we're in the Halloween season, and I love Halloween, so I want to do some like other readings about hauntings or supernatural stuff, Tolkien, like the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, things like that, because I think that's kind of mystical stuff too. But yeah, and I'll do some more. I'll do some crime readings. I want to do one about Manson. I'm not a big crime guy, but I thought it'd be fun to do a reading on Manson or some of these other shows you see on Netflix, and those crime documentaries. They're pretty cool. So maybe do a reading on those, see if we can help solve a mystery or something. But thank you very much for tuning in, you guys. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you soon.